Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so Spencer Dinwiddie is headed to the Toronto Raptors, $20 million expiring. You got Dennis Schroeder headed to the Brooklyn Nets. Thaddeus Young is also part of this trade, headed to the Brooklyn Nets to match the salaries. At the end of the day, it's just about Masai Ujiri bringing in an expiring contract so he can have $20 million coming off the books at the end of the year, rather than have Dennis Schroeder on for an extra year at $12 million. They can move on from that and continue on the process of moving on from the rebuilding from the win now timeline is what it seems like to me. Although bringing in Kelly Olynyk kind of betrays that in some ways, so I don't really understand. I think Kelly's from Toronto or he's from Canada, so maybe that's like they're trying to bring all the Canadian players to Canada. Maybe try to lure Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a couple years. I think that probably is kind of what they're doing. They're trying to put together the Canadian Avengers, but they think they overpaid for Kelly Olynyk in a real way and probably should not have done that. On paper, this looks like a lateral move to a degree. I mean, Spencer Dinwiddie, I'd argue Dennis Schroeder's a better player, but when you consider Dennis Schroeder's on for another year and Spencer Dinwiddie is not, bringing him into Toronto has him coming off of the books. Of course, Brooklyn didn't think they were going to re-sign him, didn't want to re-sign him. This brings in a easier contract to manage for them on a point guard that's not eating up as much salary. They probably just go ahead and just let Thaddeus Young expire at the end of the year. He's also a type of player that Brooklyn tends to like, 3-and-D wings if they're going to move Royce O'Neal, if they're going to move Dorian today, then Thaddeus can come in and kind of fill in some of that, fill in that role, so it's not as pressing that they replace those players with that type of player. So I get it completely for the Brooklyn Nets. I like the move for Brooklyn. I like the move for Toronto when I've settled into what it is they're doing. Just creating salary opportunities at the end of the season for Toronto to do things with whatever their salary is. Maybe pay some players that are already there. Give Scotty that big extension if it hasn't already been done, or whatever they choose to do with the salary. So that's what it is, man. And Brooklyn brings in Dennis Schroeder. They didn't want to lose Dinwiddie for nothing. Didn't want to re-sign him. Dennis Schroeder's solid, $12 million a year. Not the worst thing in the world. I think he could play pretty good for them. It ain't too hard to move it at the end of the season if they want to move it as an expiring contract in the offseason or something like that, or in the deadline next year. It shouldn't be difficult to move Dennis at $12 million. So good trade for both teams. Nothing groundbreaking, but it is interesting to see Spencer Dinwiddie headed up to Toronto for 1 year, half a season. He's just gonna be there. I don't think they stretch him or waive him or anything. It's just going to have him play out the season, and he'll hope to be a free agent in the offseason. So that's pretty much that, man. This has become a really good trade deadline day. I mean, before 10 o'clock, you already got like 5 trades. So nothing needle-breaking or groundbreaking, but these trades have definitely kept me active, and I'm enjoying it. So far, the uploads have come on, have uploaded on time, so hopefully that problem is behind us, but I'm prepared for it to not be, just in case. We'll go on live if stuff starts getting real crazy. But it doesn't look like that might not even be necessary. So, yeah, man, the Lakers. We're in a little bit of trouble when it comes to this particular trade because from what I understand, these were the two teams that we were hoping one of them would take D'Lo, and they just made a trade for each other. So if we were trying to get DeJounte Murray, these were the teams, from what I understand, were interested in possibly taking D'Lo, and they were going to send one of these two guys to Atlanta. So now that is out the way, it kind of makes it less likely that we're going to be able to make that Dennis D'Lo for DeJounte Murray swap, which, to be honest with you, doesn't look that likely to me. Didn't look that likely to me yesterday either as we were looking at it. So, yeah, man, I think the Lakers may make a marginal move, a small move, maybe closer to that deadline buzzer. I could see us trickling in a last-second trade. But it doesn't look like nothing is happening right now surrounding our name. But that's what I wanted to tell people, man. Brooklyn and Toronto made a deal with one another, swapping point guards. Thaddeus in there too. BDL 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.